Hey, it's a little bit of an unplanned video, but people seem to like that kind of thing. So I thought I'd make a quick little video about this because there's a little bit of a misconception going around, and I thought I'd chime in about it. I keep wanting to do all these entertaining videos, fun videos, but I keep getting sucked into the health thing. Oh, well, anyway, all right. So the misconception that's going around, because I'm getting some comments from people saying, in the last video where I was talking about how the body has two sources of fuel, fat or sugar. And fat's a lot more long lasting. Sugar is just for short little bursts. And people are so convinced, they're so desperately looking for reasons to have sugar in their diet. They're saying, we are meant to run on sugar. The body is designed to run on sugar, not fat. Fat is only there for emergencies. Actually, you got it backwards. What is an emergency fuel supply? Let's say your bank account. Let's say you make a bunch of money, right? How much of your money that you make goes into your business? And if you put some aside for emergency use, how much would it be? I think the average person would put like 95 to 99% of their money into their everyday stuff and maybe 1 to 5% for emergency use, right? It's not the other way around. You're not going to put 95% of your money into emergency stashed away and 1 to 5% for everyday use. That just doesn't make sense. Well, the body's not stupid. The body's designed a certain way. Everything you eat gets used for fuel. Now, most people eat too much. So whatever you have that's too much is not used. You don't poop it out. Your body is like, it says, well, this is fuel. I'm going to hold on to this. I'm going to put it away into my savings account. Well, how does it put it away? Does it store it as sugar or does it store it as fat? A little tiny bit of it gets stored as sugar. Glycogen, which gets turned into glucose, gets stored in your liver and your muscles. Just a little bit, just a tiny bit. Glycogen is an analog of starch. It's a glucose polymer that functions as an energy storage unit in plants. And this is where people get a little bit confused because they think, well, it's an energy source. We eat it. Longest living people eat a lot of starch. Therefore, we are designed to run on starch. Most of what you don't use right away for fuel gets stored in your body as fat. Now, why is that? Why is it not stored as sugar? Well, sugar is a lot it's a lot bulkier in the form that it's stored in. Lipids, aka fat, is actually a much more compact, much more energy efficient way of storing fuel. And it lasts a lot longer and it's a lot more stable. Sugar isn't really that stable. There's a reason the body is designed. Now, those people who say we are designed to run on sugar. Well, if you want to talk about design, we are designed to store fuel mainly as fat, not sugar. Now, why is the sugar there? Why is that little bit of glycogen / glucose / sugar there? Well, that is our emergency fuel supply. If you were fully stocked on glycogen, which gets turned into glucose, you would have maybe 2,000 calories of it. And that is, depending on the person. If you're an athlete, you could burn that out in like an hour or two. If you're just a lazy person sitting on the couch, you might last a day on it. Okay. A lot of people don't have a full supply of it because they keep using it or they're inefficient or for whatever reason. But basically you have about half a day's supply of sugar, glycogen, glucose, whatever. And you have like half a year's supply of fat, which you can run on indefinitely. The emergency is the sugar because it burns very fast. It's instant. When it gets in your system, you get instant energy. And that is in case, like in the old days, if you got chased by a bear or there's an emergency and you got to run like hell and you got to save your life, that's where the sugar comes in. That is your emergency fuel supply. The sugar / glycogen / glucose, that is your emergency fuel. That's your instant energy, but you only have a little bit of it. You cannot run all day on that. Well, you can if you keep eating carbs all day long, all the time, but that burns out your body. That's like running on emergency fuel nonstop for the rest of your life. That's like having your foot on the gas pedal and running that engine full blast. I mean, you're going to burn out your engine. Fasting is when you don't eat any carbs and you're basically running on body fat. That's what your body's running on when you're fasting. And when people fast, miracles happen. They start healing all these health problems. They start getting so healthy, and they start getting younger. And I mean, it's amazing the things that people say. They feel better and from basically not eating, running on sugar anymore, and running totally on fat. That's what fasting is. You're running on your stored energy supply. So think about that. Yes, you can run on carbs for the rest of your life if that's what you want to do. There are people that do that. Or you can give your body a rest and take it easy once in a while and not eat carbs and run off your stored fuel. I mean, it's there. You might as well use it, right? I mean, these endurance athletes that just, after about maximum of 2 hours, they do what's called hitting a wall. They run out of glycogen and it's like, bam, they have no more energy. It's like it's like you just pulled the electrical cord and they're like shot. That's because the sugar, they only have a little bit of that. And that is meant for emergency instant use. Now, there are athletes who have weaned off the sugar and they became what's called fat/keto adapted. You're fat adapted. That means you trained your body to run on fat. That is not stressful on the body like people think. Like, so that's very stressful on the body. Well, your body is designed to store most of your fuel as fat and to use it on a steady basis. Sugar is actually a lot more stressful on the body. When you use sugar, insulin is released. I think you should all know what insulin does right now, right? I mean, insulin is what ages you. The minute insulin is released, HGH, the human growth hormone, is stopped. Sugar is a lot more stressful on the body than fat is. Fat helps slow down and ease things so they move a lot smoother, a lot more graceful long-term. It's like a rabbit versus a tortoise. You know, who won the race, right? The rabbit's all spazzed out. But the tortoise is the one going steady. He's running on fat. The rabbit is running on sugar. Now, I used to be a sugar animal. I used to be for the first 30 years of my life. Everything I did was sugar, sugar, sugar. And I was so sick. Everything I did. Now, I know you're going to say, well, fruit sugar is healthier. There's different kinds of sugar. Yes, that's true. Let's say you're eating a whole bunch of starch, a whole bunch of sugar, a whole bunch of carbs, and most people, you eat too much. So you got too much of it in your body. You're not going to poop it out. Your body's going to go, ooh, I got extra energy here. And what does it do? It fills up its glycogen stores, but that's just a little bit. 120 grams in the liver, 400 grams in the muscles. The rest of it gets turned into fat. So all that extra sugar gets turned into fat. There are people saying, they have this misconception that I'm telling people to eat a whole bunch of fat. Stop eating sugar and eat fat. I'm not saying that. I eat whatever you want. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you eat. Whatever you have left over that's unused in your body is going to get turned into fat. So it doesn't matter what you eat. You can eat all the carbs you want. It's going to get turned into fat anyway. You don't even have to eat the fat. Your body's going to turn it into fat no matter what. Yeah. So it's not like there is, it's a mistake. The body doesn't, it's really intelligently designed. It's so intelligent designed. We haven't even figured out all the complexities of the human body, but there's a reason why now over 95% of your fuel supply in your body is fat. It's not stored as sugar. It's stored as fat. So that's what I wanted to clear up here. The emergency fuel supply is not fat. It's the sugar. It's the glycogen. It's the glucose. That's so you can instantly bolt out of there. If there's a fire, if there's a bear chasing you, if your wife is angry, you're going to run out the door. That's glycogen. That's the sugar kicking in, but you can only go so far on that. And then it doesn't last very long. But if you want to do a marathon that just goes on for days, that's where you train yourself to be fat adapted and your body runs on that. And there's all kinds of studies, thousands of studies. Scientifically, this is already out there. I'm not going to go crazy posting all these studies. It's already out there. This isn't anything new. But I just thought I'd clear that up because people, they only believe what they want to believe. It's like they only listen to the people that tell them what they want to hear, that backs up what they want to believe. And it's usually some kind of comfort-based lifestyle / diet. If it tastes good and that's what I want to do, then I'm going to find people that tell me that that's good for me. I don't want to hear anybody else. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, really think about it. Why is 95% of your body's fuel supply saved as fat, not sugar? This is not a video about Marcus telling you to eat a whole bunch of fat and don't eat carbs. Eat whatever you want. People are already convinced that the way they're eating is the way it should be. And I'm not going to try to twist people's arms to eat different. Eat whatever you want. Eat all the carbs you want. What I'm here to say is most people eat too much. And when they do, the body doesn't get rid of the excess fuel. What does it do? It stores it. And all those extra carbs / sugar, if that's what you want to eat, gets turned into fat. That's how it's stored in the body. It's not a bad thing. It's a fuel storage device. That's how your fuel is stored. If you don't use it, you just get more of it. That's all it is. It's highly efficient. I'm not saying being fat is good, but the fat itself it's not a bad stuff. Fuel is probably the most precious thing on the planet. Animals and humans, the first thing they look for is food, right? What drives cars and flies airplanes and runs industry? It's fuel. Fuel is the most important thing for living things on this planet. And the body has already figured all this out, and it figured out what the most efficient fuel supply is. And, short-term emergency fuel supply and long-term investment running smoothly in fuel supply. So yeah, I'm rambling now, so I'm going to go, but I thought I'd just say that real quick. I hope you'll, maybe you didn't get anything out of it. Maybe you just like watching me. I don't know, but okay, well, this is Kickback with Marcus Day. Rambling on. Here he is talking about health again. I can't wait to do the fun stuff. I keep saying that. But if I don't do it, who will, right? I'm sure somebody will. Okay, well, anyway, I'll see you in a few days. Okay, have a good one. Bye. Yes, fruit is good for you. I can already see the comments coming. I'm not telling people to eat fat. My God. Does anybody actually listen to what I'm saying?